Hello everyone, my name's Lulu. Thank you for joining me. We're doing a tutorial series today on Stationeers. This first tutorial is how to survive your first few minutes. Some critical notes before we get going. Alt will give you your mouse. I know it seems silly to tell you that, but just in case you're like me, where you didn't know that when you first started playing, it'll help you a lot. So let's get going here. We've landed on the surface of Mars. We have extra food and water in our pod. We're looking around. There's the sun. Note where it's coming up. We're going to grab our wrench, disconnect the construction supplies from this pod so that we can start building a little safe room. A lot of these techniques will work on the other planets, but not Venus and Vulcan. Opening our construction supplies, we're going to grab some iron frames. Using those iron frames, we're going to put one of them down, then we're going to grab some iron sheets, switch our wrench for our welder. We'll go through the other tools in the future. And there we go, welded to the frame, the sheet of course. To turn your welder on and off, you're going to use the right mouse button or O. When you're placing walls, you can press C to change their orientation or hold it and use your mouse wheel. You can see here that we're setting up 3 walls on top of that frame. Then we're going to put the walls back in the construction crate and we're going to get our airlock supplies. Same thing, grab our wrench, make sure we have one free hand, disconnect the airlock supplies, and we're going to grab a couple items. There's going to be a lot of items in here that we don't need yet, and we're going to put some of the items that we started with in our inventory into this crate. We're going to put the Atmo reader into the tablet. Then we're going to grab a whole bunch of different items. The ones that are critical to grab at this time are going to be your active vent, the door kit, and the pipes. We're also going to use manual hatches. To get the manual hatch, have the doors, and then use your mouse until you get to them. All you need to do to put the iron on the walls is have it in your hand and click the walls. Then you need to weld the doors, same as we did the frame earlier. Then we have these 2 manual hatches that will work to contain a nice little safe room. We're going to get rid of a couple more items out of our inventory, and they are your console that we picked up earlier by accident. And if you're on a cold planet, you do want to do this next part with flares as well. Or for now, like on Mars, we'll leave how to do the flare part for another tutorial. We're now going to grab our electrical supplies, disconnect it from the lander. I like to make sure that it's facing upwards. Then we're going to grab a battery and an area power controller. The power controller needs to have both arrows facing into the room so that you can wire up your vent, and later we'll wire up a second vent to make a better airlock. But for now, we're making an emergency safe room. So we have our area controller. Now we're placing our vent. I suggest you do it like this, it just makes things a lot easier. Next, we're going to grab the cable coils and we're going to connect the area power controller out to the vent. Once we have that set up, we're going to start adding our pipes after we put our power into the controller, flip it on, and close it again. To open and close the area power controller, you use your crowbar. Now it's time for the pipes. You can see we can't really see those pipes from the outside and where we're putting them to the active vent. So placing them like this definitely makes it a lot easier. Then we're going to place a couple just coming out of our safe room like this, and that will give us some room to put our waste air in the future. But we'll get into how we do that in a future tutorial. This is just a very basic, how do we get a safe room to eat and drink no matter what planet we're on, other than Venus and Vulcan. You can see when we turn on this vent that it gives us a nice little vacuum in here. cool thing is that in Stationeers you can eat and drink in vacuum. If you're not getting it, try playing with the different switches, and then you can put your water and food into your inventory, have a sip, have a bite, and now you're safe. Thank you so much for joining me for our first little tutorial on Stationeers. If you have questions or comments, please leave them below. I am looking forward to doing our next set of tutorials, and let me know if there's something specific you would like to see in the future. Thanks so much for joining me. My name was Lulu, and you can find me on Twitch. Thanks so much. Have a great day.